Hey, everybody, and welcome to Law and Society. Today, we're going to talk about Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell's guilty plea in the Georgia RICO case. So, if you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I wanted to come out and briefly discuss uh, Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell's Georgia RICO guilty plea. Now, who are these two people? Kenneth Chesebro is the man who drafted the fake elector scheme. He's the one who drafted the first version of the fake elector scheme. And it is from his fake elector scheme that John Eastman's, uh, fake elector scheme spread throughout the various battleground states. But Kenneth Chesebro is one of the primary inventors of the fake elector scheme. He's the original drafter of the fake elector scheme. So for him to plead guilty under the terms of cooperation and to cooperate does not bode well at all for Donald Trump and his other co-defendants. And then there's Sidney Powell, the Kraken lady. Well, Sidney Powell actually entered into contract with another company to go and manipulate the voting machines and the voting data in various states, or I believe Georgia being the big RICO one. It would be in Georgia and in Coffee County, Georgia. And we don't know what Sidney did in other states, but we know that from the indictment that Sidney Powell actually entered into a contract with another party to, get in the way of counting the votes. And Sidney Powell was also at the December 18th meeting at the White House where there was the crazy team and the reasonable team. We heard about that from the January 6th committee. We heard about that from Pat Cipollone and I believe Eric Hirschman, who were White House lawyers. And then there was the crazy team of Sidney Powell and Rudy Giuliani. So Sidney Powell is at the core of the planning of the fake elector scheme. So Georgia getting their guilty pleas under the condition of cooperation means that Georgia, Fani Willis, and Georgia's DAs have cracked open the Georgia RICO conspiracy case. Now, including Scott Hall, that there are two others, Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell, who have pled guilty. That leaves 16 other defendants, Donald Trump being one of them. The evidence that Georgia DA can get from Kenneth Chesebro and from Sidney Powell is incriminating for Donald Trump beyond a reasonable doubt. And so I am so very excited that they pled guilty. The little shadow, dark side of that is that the public will not get to hear the facts of the case, before Donald Trump goes to trial. So now there are 16 other defendants who haven't pled guilty and who haven't raised their right to a speedy trial. So these 16 would now have to decide whether they want to go along and then have Judge McAfee set the trial date, and then we'll see what happens with that. But the longer these defendants wait, the stronger Fani Willis's case gets. And as we saw with Sidney Powell's plea deal, she got 6 years of probation. She didn't get any jail time. So Kenneth Chesebro is likely to also not get any jail time and get a very long uh, uh, probationary period, and then cooperate and testify truthfully at the trial of the other defendants who did not plead guilty. So that is where we are in the Georgia RICO case. Donald Trump is not going to like what is happening with these guilty pleas. So with that, the substantive portion is over. I will see if there are any questions. Hey, Derek. Hey, Deb. Thank you for being here. Sylvia, thank you for being here. Let's see. Do you think there's a chance that Trump's trial will be moved up now? So there's Donald Trump has actually wanted a delay. Defendants have the right to a speedy trial. Now it depends on Georgia's laws and how the judge in the case, Judge McAfee, how he handles the other 16, whether they set a trial date or whether they continue the discovery process with a delay. It depends largely on the judge. I'm sure that the DA's office, Fulton County DA's office, would want to take those cases to trial as soon as possible. And we know that Donald Trump and his co-conspirators, if they don't plead guilty, will keep on delaying. So we have to wait and see. Let's see. Do you believe that the next round of plea deals will not be as just? It is a standard that when there's situations like conspiracy where everybody has been charged with the same crime, if they don't have a criminal record or priors, if they don't have a criminal history, they're likely to get the same deals. But that also depends a lot on the DA and how valuable the DA thinks, or whether the DA will offer plea agreements to all the defendants or not. That remains to be seen. So, any other questions? If I came on live today because I wanted to just sort of tie this knot and tell you why it's important that Sidney Powell and Kenneth Chesebro have pled guilty. While there's no connection to the federal cases, I can't imagine this not piquing DOJ's interest, that they have pled guilty. So it's a good day for justice. It's a busy day for justice. It's going to be a busy month. While we won't see the trial on the 23rd, there's still the October 30th hearing of the disqualification clause. Then Judge Chutkan, another small tidbit of information, Judge Chutkan has stayed her own order for the protective gag order while Donald Trump drafts his appeal. I don't know what the value of that is, but what I can see is that Judge Chutkan is giving Donald Trump a lot of leeway, and she's being extremely conservative with how she handles this case. So I mean, I have faith in Judge Chutkan, and then I also have faith in the DC Circuit Court of Appeals to throw out any appeal of the district court's protective order, because the district court has wide and broad discretion in how it handles and manages trials in its court. So absent abuse of discretion, there's really no way that the appellate court would overturn Judge Chutkan's protective order. That's not how the judiciary works. So I may be wrong in my projections and predictions, but heaven help me, so far in the last 3 years, I haven't largely been wrong about these assessments. So with that, thank you so much. There's 6 of you here today. 3 of you have spoken up, and 3 of you have been quietly listening. And I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate that you've liked. Please share and please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, get the word out. So I'll end it here. And when there are more updates and hopefully not as much sun on my face, I will come back with more information. Take care.